How's it going, guys? Today I'm going to be featuring the legendary tier heavy cruiser Henry IV. This ship was just buffed. It actually got a pretty substantial main battery reload buff, and now this thing's main battery reload is only a little more than 8 seconds. It's pretty nasty with the DPM that you can actually pump out now, especially having reload boosts. And there are commanders that do exist that allow you to have 4 reload boosts like we do here. We are using Kuromi Surika, the BA commander, and this commander special because when you pop your reload boost you actually get a 30% dispersion buff. Pretty sure it's 30. But yeah, since we are relying on this dispersion buff, we can kind of get away with using the main battery turret reverse mod instead of aiming systems. Because if we don't go with the turret reverse mod, the turret reverse on this cruiser is pretty bad. It's kind of suffering, and well, as a cruiser that kind of wants the kite and you end up wiggling more often than not, having bad turret reverse, not letting you actually shoot your guns because you're going to have to keep turning your ship, is kind of bad. So we have turret reverse mod in the first slot instead of aiming systems to combat that. And because we have Surika, like I said, we get that 30% dispersion. So if there's ever a broadside cruiser that we kind of want to smash, we have the ability to simply pop our reload boost while we have AP, and then that 30% dispersion will kind of give us the accuracy we need. It is a lot more useful on the large cruisers though, to be honest. But then again, Henry IV does have 240mm guns, and its AP is actually pretty good. These guns also overmatch ships like Minotaur, so there is actually quite a bit of use for this ship's AP. And then on top of that, if you are close enough, you can also citadel things like Yamato. Kind of unfortunate, we get set on 2 double fires back to back by the enemy Henry. This thing also does have pretty good fire chance for what it is without really having to build too much into it. So that's why we can kind of get away with using Surika. Surika is definitely a more AP focused cruiser commander, as you have what, 1 fire chance skill in the first row, but having beyond range is kind of important, especially now with the Preußen meta. Just simply staying at range, kiting, burning things down, and then when they show broadside you can switch to AP. You get punched through the 30% dispersion gimmick skill, and then you also have fixated, so kind of a really good commander for accuracy, and again why it's probably the best for the large cruisers. Now if you don't have any of these premium commanders, you don't really have to worry that much. I mean, the 30% dispersion is nice, but on top of that, Henry IV, it is a cruiser, so you have cruiser dispersion, so you still will be able to land most of your shells anyway. You will kind of miss out on the 1 reload boost though, just simply because having more is better. Having and not needing is better than needing and not having. And yeah, it is unfortunate. Paid commanders are better. I mean, maybe one day they'll add some normal skill or a skill to the normal commanders that kind of close the gap a little bit, especially when the large cruiser line is completed with, what is it, Marseille, since we do have Brest, but who knows, maybe we will see that at some point in the future. But yeah, Henry IV, very nice buff. I think my biggest issue with the ship currently probably is just going to be the turret reverse. It is very painful. I mean, we even have the turret reverse mod, and when we do turn and we are in a full turn at full speed, I mean, the turret reverse mod helps, but we still kind of are suffering from turret reverse. It's not going to keep up in your turn, so you do kind of have to cancel your turn and kind of plan for, I guess, whatever it is you are going to shoot at. The enemy Henry that's behind me, or kind of off to our left, I'm kind of hoping our battleship that is behind us is able to finish him off, so I'm pinging him. There's an enemy daring sitting in his smoke right in front of us, and I kind of don't want to be broadside for this Henry. As we know, he is probably going to end up shooting us, but I'm trying to run this Henry down, not Henry, daring down, and we do find him. We pop our reload boost, and we are simply going to try our best to finish him off. Henry finally goes down, and there is a Hindenburg basically sitting in between us here at A and B. Unfortunately though, we were moving a little too fast, and that Hindenburg does reset us, so we are going to miss out on the cap, unfortunately, and that is quite a bit of XP to lose out on. Hindenburg, flat broadside, trying to run away from our friendly battleship, and he ends up beaching. I switch over to AP, and again, Henry AP is nothing to scoff at. This thing is absolutely nasty, and you are actually able to Citadel Hindenburgs when you are far enough. Same thing with Des Moines. Pretty sure if you're too close though, and you do hit that 40mm turtleback slope deck armor, you probably will end up getting some ricochets, or not ricochets, but overpens, which do kind of suck. We try to fire a whole salvo, but I think only our front guns got off on the enemy Shimakaze there. He does try to turn away, and he does end up beaching, but that Hindenburg does survive and gets away. I'm kind of hoping our teammates that are chasing the Shima don't also get killed off by the Hindenburg. And it's not really looking that great for our team. We don't have the cap advantage, and we're also losing on points and ships. And there is a Shima that's still alive. Really, we are hoping that our teammates can deal with this Hindenburg and maybe even finish off that Shimakaze before he does any sort of major damage. Hindenburg goes down. We don't really get the assist medal for that, since we didn't really deal damage in time, I suppose. I think it's 30 seconds from when you deal damage and they die that you will get the medal. We see the enemy Shima getting spotted and trying to run away from the smoke, with all of our teammates going south of A, and the direction that the Shima was heading, he either is going to try to escape through B, or he's going to try and escape back into their spawn. Although considering how close our friendlies are to the Shima, considering he also got spotted, I don't think the Shima is going to try to run away south back into their spawn, because he probably thinks he will get spotted. So we're going to try our best to get to B cap, close the distance, and possibly seal off one of his escape routes. We also have a friendly destroyer all the way in the back of spawn, where I guess ships are trying to chase a destroyer, which not the best idea for any ship, but it is what's kind of happening. Getting closer to B, I mean, if we're not spotted by the Shima and we don't catch the Shima, then we get a good idea of where he is. We are still in a little trouble because we still have 2 destroyers, and not being a radar cruiser, it's going to be fairly difficult to find them. We're kind of going to have to rely on our engine boost to go and find them and kind of run them down. We get spotted. Our prediction was correct. Shima ends up running face first into us, and he just insta-dies, doesn't even have a chance to dump panic torpedoes. Enemy Wisconsin was chasing our destroyer. There still is an enemy gearing, as well as a Dalian that was last spotted somewhere in front of us, leaving the top right corner of B. So we kind of need to be careful here. Enemy Wisconsin pushing in, realizing he's charging into a bunch of ships. He's going to go and try to turn away, although he is giving broadside to basically our whole team. I guess he decided that that would be better than trying to stay bow in and reverse, which, I mean, honestly, is what I would expect to happen if prop mod wasn't bugged, I suppose. To let you reverse, people would actually have to make game returns to try and run away to survive, rather than being a sitting duck, I suppose. Although Wisconsin, for whatever reason, he decides to turn back in. He just went broadside for basically no reason, and yeah, kind of strange. Now we're trying to turn back in to start heading it towards C. I'm kind of assuming the Dalian actually went around north, although now we realize we're not going to make the turn, and B cap is getting contested, so we're kind of in a really bad spot here. I decide to try and get out of this, but yeah, we're kind of just parallel parking here. I pop, or I don't pop my reload boost, I switch to AP. I kind of need to put all my eggs in one basket here. I pop my reload boost for that dispersion buff, and we get 3 citadels and a couple pens and overpens, and we're able to dev strike the Dalian. Thank goodness we had 3 stacks of legendary reload mod, because then that way we were actually able to well, Dev Strike that Dalian, and we're kind of lucky that we didn't overpen him either, as that is kind of common with the Dalian at whenever you're close range, even with some of the I guess better cruisers with AP like Des Moines and such, just because Dalian is so super trolly. Enemy gearing got spotted very briefly and ended up dying because he turned broadside to all of our battleships. That's kind of the I guess the thing that the enemy team just enjoyed doing this match was simply turning broadside. We have 4 kills, 2 assists. We missed out on assists on the Henry and the Hindenburg, even though we did deal damage to them at some point. So just considering that, we basically did kind of fight and shoot at least, well, almost every single one of their ships. This Colombo is basically the last one, and we're gonna go and close the distance because we still have an opportunity for a Kraken, so we're just gonna charge at him. We have one more reload boost coming off a cooldown in 50 seconds. Hopefully Colombo doesn't just sail flat broadside and get dev struck by 2 battleships or our destroyer that is still alive, and maybe we can deal a little more damage. Colombo ends up smoking up. I'm gonna just keep closing the distance because this is a good opportunity to try and get as close as we can. We can either torpedo him, or I mean, if we are close enough, switch to AP and pop our reload boost, which I'm pretty sure will come off a cooldown just about when the Colombo smoke ends, and then we can try to deal as much damage as we possibly can. I'm kind of expecting the Colombo to have been trying to turn away to kite, or at least angle in to maybe just YOLO and brawl or something. So we're going to have a pretty good opportunity for a broadside. I look at the map just to see where the basically where the smoke was heading, and it was heading in a straight line, which is actually really tragic. He eats 2 torpedoes. I just decide to switch to AP because at this point we kind of need AP to do a lot of damage in order to finish him off. We fire our front guns and we're able to finish off the Colombo, luckily. A lot of those shells I didn't think were gonna pen, but that is, I suppose, the power of AP and its pen at close range. It can do some funny things as we get 4100 base XP. Kind of expected. I mean, we did fight their whole team, even though we don't show it in the ribbons, because we missed out on the assist on that Hindenburg that we got a bunch of citadels on, and the Henry that we were kind of fighting at the start. But yeah, Henry with the buffs, the guns are a lot better. I mean, we went with the full reload build here, as our inspirations are Membeli and Ding. Yep, Ding, the Pan-Asian guy that gives you some reload. So now we have like a 8-second reload on these 240mm guns that have a fairly decent fire chance for its base. And then on top of that, we have Sarika that gives us a lot of AP power, as well as accuracy. So it kind of just ends up working out. Henry is a lot nastier now. I don't know, maybe we might need to revisit the drawing board and compare it to Zhao again. Although Zhao with Eolatago is still very nasty, but at the same time, Henry now can do much more. That's pretty much it for this one. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, leave a like and subscribe for more and share with your friends, or leave a comment down below for other ships you want to see in the future. But anyway guys, till next time, aloha.